Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back for round 10? Yeah. I'm used to Daytona. I always feel like Daytona's round 10. Does that not sound kind of like Daytona's usually round 10?
I want to say it is.
I think they moved it back a week this year because normally it's at the end of bike week. This year is at the very beginning of bike week.
Yeah.
But anyway, doesn't matter. We're in round 10, Detroit.
All I know is that countdown music.
Prepare to be dazzled.
It goes hard, dude.
You want the 7 deuce to get in there?
I want 7 deuce to
throw some bars is what you said?
Didn't Shane pick that? That was
RM is stepping away to take care of their health.
Pulling a Kenny.
But hey, are we back?
We're in?
Comment right now. Can you hear us? Are we here? Everybody put in your back. You're back. Yes. Woo! Stressing out over here. Well, you want to see stressing out? You should have seen Josh.
I've never seen that look before. I've never seen that look.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Yeah. So normally, like when we've had a crash before, it was the software that we use for the show. This time, Josh's computer just went blank.
Dude, some of these comments just dying the whole time.
The comments were good. At least we were able to comment with you guys. That being said, I don't remember. We were talking about dropping beats to this for
I just like Jay saying, mad, I just woke up to watch this.
Who said my picks are going to be crap now? Oh, my gosh.
Kenny shut it down because we said something.
Malcolm wanted revenge for us talking on him last week about cutting down too early in berms.
That is funny, dude.
Well, anyway, welcome back. Sorry about that, but thank you again for sticking with us through that little ordeal. And luckily, we got it just in time because Joey Savatgy.
It's just like Webb said on the podium, ish happens.
Ish does happen. And if we could swear on this show, that was a moment. FGB. Anyway, Joey Savatgy is going to be ringing in here in just a couple of minutes, so glad we got that out of the way and not during his call. And DrJayBee.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped for both those guys.
The man, the myth, the legend behind a lot of the stats. He's going to call in towards the end of the show, and we're going to pick his brain about his picks and his stats, and he's got a cool backstory, so you guys are going to like this, so stick around for that. Mm-hmm. Remember, RMFantasySX, we give away incredible prizes. We've got awesome weekly prizes up for grabs that we're going to talk about, too, towards the end. Are you reading these comments?
Oh, Ruby, dude. Your production team is still infinitely better than the Peacock streaming.
We'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. That was a little stressful. I'm sweating back here.
Josh just stood up just like,
I've never
what the hell? What the hell just happened? Like,
I got a tear.
Oh, my gosh. That was good. Anyway, as a quick little recap here, because we're getting Joey ready to come on here in just a minute, let's talk about our results from Daytona. We had Tomac, Webb, Sexton Ferrandis, Justin Barsha for the for fifth, and then we had Dean Wilson for the wild card.
Yep, a lot of points given out last week.
Yes, and we're going to have Joey kind of walk us through the track trends for Detroit.
Yeah, I'd like
Not
that.
sure how many times he's raced there, but I'd like to get his thoughts on it before we ask him some other questions too.
Let a real expert tell us about it.
We're getting him queued up right now. He's going to be here in just a second. Speaking of the Rocky Mountain ATVMC rider, Joey Savatgy, we've got him live right now on Zoom. Joey, say hello to the people that are watching you live.
How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're good.
We're good now.
Hey, are you doing better than the last time we talked?
Oh, dude, that was rough. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually just talking to my wife about that. I think yesterday. I had like a little bit of a headache yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And she's like, maybe it's there's something. Maybe I was taking too many vitamins, or I was doing something. And she's like, it must be the vitamins. I'm like, I haven't had this headache or a headache since that day. I was like, I remember exactly the last time I had one. Yeah, it was just honestly, I think when I fly, I get too focused on my screen, on my phone, because I have nothing else to do. I have too much like anxiety to sleep most of the time on a plane, so I just kind of scroll. I just think there's too much screen time on the airplane.
So it's not my fault that as long as it's not, you don't blame it on me.
It's not our fault.
I'd like to blame it on you, but if it happens again, you're not there. Well, then I'm in a little bit of a pickle.
You can still blame it on him. That's okay.
Well, Joey, real quick, just give us an update on how you've been. How's the recovery process going for your knee? You've got a new baby girl going on right now, too. So kind of give us the update on what you're doing, when we can plan to see you back, and, walk us through it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's been good. It's 6 weeks as of yesterday or Tuesday, excuse me. And making really good progress. Finally got back on a road bike last week. I have my physical therapist, PJ, who comes to my house 3 days a week. And obviously my gym trainer and track trainer, Seth Rarick, who we've been all kind of communicating amongst each other to coordinate the best possible structure to get us back on the track as soon as possible. So obviously 6 weeks out, the goal is to be back on a motorcycle at week 11, week 12. Week 12 is like the realistic goal. Obviously, if we can shrink that window a little bit safely, that will be the plan. But we're shooting for 12 weeks, so we're halfway now. If everything goes according to plan and we're back on the bike by 12 weeks, it gives me, I think, 7 or so weeks to get ready for outdoors. So obviously it is a good amount of time. But we are also missing, 12 plus weeks of not riding. So it will be a little bit of a journey, to say the least, but I feel like I have a really good team around me, and just excited to kind of getting to that point now where I'm really becoming mobile again and able to start progressing and actually making what I feel like are big advancements forward.
Man, I'm jealous of just 3 months. I had rotator cuff surgery in November. In fact, it was right after you guys left when you were here for that team intro, and I'm coming up on 5 months, and I still have not been able to touch a dirt bike yet. So is 7 weeks when you're, if all things go according to plan, you have 7 weeks to prepare for the outdoors. Is that enough time? I mean, is that realistic for you to be in moto shape by then, or do you think you're going to be racing your way into shape a little bit at the beginning?
It's hard to say, because I do feel like from the physical fitness standpoint, I'll be fine. But again, racing shape is so much different than the bike ride and gym standpoint. Sorry, there's a vacuum going on. Hey, can you shut that door, please? And, so gym and bicycle and fitness wise, I'll be fine. Obviously the goal is to be as ready as possible. So will there be some racing into shape? I would like to say no, but I do know that you take an extended amount of time off, you lose a lot of that race, not awareness, but just the
intensity,
your body's not used to it.
Yeah.
Just everything. And honestly, no matter how much time I have on the bike before we go racing, you can't duplicate, what it's like in town and any of these races. You can't duplicate that. And it's just no different than Supercross. You could have 2,000 laps going into A1 and get to A1 and it'd be something that you have no comfort on, because you really can't replicate what it's like at the races. And that's, I think what makes great riders great is the ability to adapt and to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, because on the practice track, you're focused on just you. You can focus on your breathing, your lines. In a race scenario, the intensity, the race pace, I'm sure, is gnarly. You've got other riders around you. You're probably holding your breath a little bit more. So I would imagine it's quite a bit different. I'm sure a lot of guys can put in a 30+2 during the summertime before they start, but once you hit the track, it's probably a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joey, you got hurt. Nobody wants to get hurt. It sucks. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't know if my Wi-Fi is getting a little squirrely on us.
All right. Well, so it sucks you got hurt. We know you got hurt during the week, during practice. You tried to race with it, but a little bit of silver lining to that, because you did have your new baby girl. It was probably nice to be able to spend a lot of time home with her, while she's brand new. So how's that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I think there's always silver linings in things. At least there has to be. If you look at every situation with the head down, kicking rocks attitude, things tend to get a little tough. So, the other silver lining is we made a decision early enough to get it fixed in order to be back healthy for outdoors. So yes, right. There's a bunch of silver linings, but obviously the main one being, I was able to be here for the birth of my second one. And, it's been good. It's, my first one is now about 2.5. So, time flies, obviously, as they say, but you really forget how tough and how just the restless nights, the constantly just being on edge, making sure they're fine. Like that whole first month, 2 months is really tough. Just because we finally got in the routine of having a little one who sleeps all night, and then you get accustomed to being on that 8+ hour sleep nights. And then, you get comfortable. And I mean, at the end of the day, we all like to be comfortable.
You got double diaper duty, don't you?
So then having to constantly get up every 2. Yeah. Having to give up every 2-3 hours and feed and change. Mm-hmm. It's definitely done a pretty good job. She's healthy and alive. My older one, we didn't think she was going to jail that well. But she loves her. And so, they'll grow up together and they'll do things.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got a 2-year-old. I'm getting ready for number 2 sometime this year. And I'm already thinking about what you're going through. And got to do it, though. It's nothing better than fatherhood. Hey, Joey, you probably, I'm sure you've seen all the press releases about Ken Roczen stepping away from racing for the rest of the year. Is this something that you can relate to? I know he's not injured, but he does have a health issue. Can you compare this to something like you had, where you have something that's not going to probably allow you to get the results you're capable of, and you show up to the races already knowing you're kind of at this disadvantage? Do you think kind of like what you were trying to do with your ACL and what Kenny's going through is like relatable? Or do you think what he's dealing with is something in its own and you don't really know how to relate to that?
It's so hard. I have obviously gone through health issues myself, so I do know where he's coming from. Anytime you line up on the gate, you strive to be or try to be 100%. Mm-hmm. But as we all know, with such a long Supercross series and no breaks, nobody is ever going to be quote 100% all the time. Mm-hmm. But, for me, I've dealt with my health issues, I think in 2016 outdoor series. And then towards the end of outdoor last year, I had some stuff that was way off and way out of line. So I've dealt with health issues, but it's been during the outdoor series, which I do feel like is probably the worst of the two, just, with the heat, the length of the race, just everything. But I mean, I don't know exactly what he's going through, but anytime you're not at 100%, it adds up. And being in this class right now, it's hard enough to be competitive when you are 100%, and then you take that illness, and that illness might not be affecting him that much. Maybe he's only at 90%, but maybe that illness is messing with his timing just a little bit, and then maybe his body's not operating at 100% as far as from the muscle and everything else standpoint. Maybe his brain's off a little bit. Maybe his reaction time's off a little bit. So, all that stuff adds up. And so from the outside looking in, it's easy to be like, oh, well, he doesn't feel good and he's taking the season off. But, the truth be told, you never really know the length of what somebody's going through, especially in our sport. It's the unspoken rule where we don't talk about anything. We just, every weekend we show up. Yeah, we're healthy, best we've ever been, right? Like, no one likes to go out there and say, hey, like, this is what I'm dealing with. And I hope whatever it is isn't too bad. And like I said, I'm not in his exact situation, but I've been in a similar situation with health issues and also injury issues where you have to try to do what you can. And, it's like I said, it's very hard to be competitive at this level right now. And to try to do that when you're not at 100% is pretty much an impossible task.
Sure. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if he does come back for outdoors. He didn't really say much about that, but if he's dealing with, say, what he's talked about, Epstein-Barr, I've never been through that, but I would imagine he's probably, I would guess, going to take off outdoors because I don't see him wanting to come back while he's struggling with this this health issue during outdoors, which maybe I'm wrong, but I would say probably takes quite a bit more toll on the rider's body as far as from a recovery and fatigue as Supercross does. But we'll see what happens with him.
Time will tell, but like you said, outdoors, I believe out of the two series that we run, is you don't really want to get sick during the outdoor series. You never want to get sick, but with Supercross being the shorter period times, weather's a little bit cooler, things are a little bit more in the quote ideal zone. Mm-hmm. You get to a Redbud, or you get to, like, I know we don't go there now, but a WW or some of these races where it gets 100+ degrees. You're barking up a tree that you don't want to bark up.
Right. But do you prefer, which one would you choose? If they came today and said, hey, we're either going to do a Supercross series or a motocross series, which one would you choose?
No comment. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I could sit here and say, I'm good with Supercross all year.
Yeah.
But truth be told, by round 14, 15, 16, you kind of start to get the itch for making that transition to motocross. And it's the same with outdoor. By the time you get to around 10, 11, 12, like, the summer's ending and you're just exhausted. And all you want to do is just relax and you're tired. Like, you're tired of doing the 30+2s. You're tired of suffering, and you go back to Supercross and everything feels awesome, short, it's all fun, and the cycle never continues. So it's hard to say, like, if we had one or the other, if it would be beneficial. I just know for me, where I'm at, it is a nice mix.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, we're headed into Detroit this weekend. Have you raced? Did you ever race or do East Coast when you're on 250s? I'm trying to remember.
Yep.
I know. Okay. And you've raced at Detroit before? Because I know we didn't race there last year. Okay. Is that dirt more West Coast style dirt? So the reason we're asking is because a lot of people, Cooper Webb, since we've gone east, he's really turned things around. I'm sure the bike setup is a lot better than it was. I know they've been working on that hard. But do you think that going back to Detroit is going to have any negative effect to the momentum that Cooper Webb has right now, just because of the soil?
I'm trying to remember. I personally think, regardless of what the soil ends up being like, I mean, let's look at last year at Salt Lake City, right? Like, dude went out, didn't need to win, goes out, passes however many people, makes a statement, and wins. Like, so it's not that Cooper can't ride hard pack stuff. I think where Cooper really thrives and why he does so well when we head east is, I mean, I shouldn't say you never. I'm not a big fan of constantly complimenting my competition, but the guy is unbelievably smart when it comes to racecraft. You watch his lines, the way he thinks about the track long term. You watch him from first thing in the morning. He's not always the quickest in practice, but he's just figuring out what the track's going to be like later tonight and what the line's going to be. I mean, you watch him. He doesn't always do the big rhythms. Like, he's not the most impressive person. And every night we go racing, Saturday nights come main event time, you can't count that guy out. He's just so smart. He's good at figuring out how to be the most effective and efficient
Yeah.
Main event time.
What's crazy is you would not think this, but he is only 15 points behind Jason Anderson right now for second place overall. I think he catches Jason and takes that. If Eli, pending Tomac blowing this thing, I would see Cooper Webb, to be honest, taking over second place in the title hunt, just with how now he's got the ball rolling. He doesn't finish off the podium hardly at all once he figures it out. So what do you think that's possible, being 15 points back right now?
I think that it is possible. I think at the end of the day, whatever Star has going on and they figured out how to get Eli off the gate. I said it from round one, even when I was racing. If they figure out how to get that guy off the gate, we're going to be in trouble because the guy, whether you like him or not, he's unbelievable, right? Like he's going to be there at the end. He's a dog. He's a fighter. And you look at, I don't know how true this is, but I thought I heard a statistic. His years at Cowie, his starting position was like 9th.
After lap one or something? Yeah.
Yes. Like you take a guy like that and how many times he's come back to win and won titles from a 9th place average starting position. And let's just say you cut that in half. Let's just say you get him to top 5 every weekend. That's 4 less people he has to pass, which might not seem like a lot, but he's just that much closer to the front that quick. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be hard to beat him. I do think as we head east and the tracks get broke down a little bit more, I do think it does favor Cooper more than Jason. Jason is really good in general, but when the track's hard packed and dry, I mean, I remember last year training with him, or the year before, at 83. The days that we rode when the track was really, really hard packed, it was like the guy wasn't even on the same track as me. Like it's crazy. And I think some of that is him growing up in New Mexico and riding those hard packed tracks. But when the tracks get hard and slippery, you can almost count on Jason to be a podium guy.
Interesting. He does seem to steer a lot with the rear wheel. People are saying that a lot. And so maybe that doesn't translate well into the softer, ruddier tracks where you've got to really be a little bit more patient with it. All right.
Yeah, he's just a guy who lets the bike do what it wants. He doesn't break his momentum a lot. He carries speed, whereas Coop is a cut down guy, right? Like low in the bulls, jumping through the whoops. Just a smart racer, but on a hard packed track, it's hard. You can't always do that. And for someone like Jason, he doesn't do it anyway, so it's easy for him to go fast. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think regardless, if they figured out that motorcycle as well as figured out what was going on with Cooper early, I think we're going to see a fight.
Okay.
It's all good points.
So last question I have. This is regarding Malcolm Stewart. I don't know if you've been watching the races real closely, but I had a bone to pick last weekend because it was a second turn at Daytona. The pack is all bunched up. He cuts down super hard. Tomac bumps him. Anderson comes in there, and then we saw what happened after that, which is blow up city. But then also when Minneapolis came around and Anderson bumped into him, Mookie had cut down hard. Have you noticed that? Does Malcolm cut down? Do you put any blame on him for those situations?
It's honestly, it's so hard to say because, I mean, look at James. James was famous for that, right?
Yeah.
Like the dude would be mid-pack and just cut down out of nowhere. Sometimes I guess there is a little bit to blame of the just being situationally aware as to where everybody's going to be. You could also blame Jason for, okay, if he was in 10th place mid-pack, he had to throw it in there to make some passes. But, you know, you see the 2-3 guys right in front of you, like you almost might need to just get the first lap out of the way, right? Settle into it. You've been fast all day and then make things happen. Just because from a championship standpoint in the long run, you don't want to make any enemies, right? So, perfect example. He gets into it with Malcolm early on. Yeah. Now they're going back and forth. They say they've squashed it, which hopefully for Jason's sake they have, because Jason's got a lot more to lose than Malcolm does. But you make an enemy out of somebody, and it's going to get to a point where that person doesn't have anything to lose anymore. And if you're the guy who has everything to lose, example Jason, right about now he's probably kicking himself in the butt. Like I probably could have played that a little bit different, not pissed him off, and we both could have had a way better night and salvaged a lot more points. So, no matter which way, I think you look at it from both sides, there's a little bit of finger pointing at both guys, but it's racing. And for me personally, it was exciting. It added some fireworks to the show, and
well,
I'm not involved in it. So.
Tomac had a grin on his face when he watches Mookie take Anderson out in that sand corner at Daytona. He's just like, oh, thanks, Malcolm. Like, I'll just keep going.
If either one of you are going to race anyone tough, do it to Tomac, not each other. Like,
well, Tomac gets respect because he doesn't race ever like that.
Well, you don't have to be dirty, but if you want to race him tough, that's who you want to be racing.
I'm just saying, though, Tomac was grinning ear to ear when he rode past those two in the stand.
He had a huge smile. But, back to your point, Eli doesn't do that. You very rarely see Eli ever get into a situation like that where he does something like that. Now, on the other hand, Jason has been known to have an altercation or two or three. And, I can respect that too, because he doesn't care. He's not there to worry about feelings. But from the longevity standpoint and the championship standpoint, you kind of got to take that into consideration a little bit. Just be mindful of, who you're around and who you piss off.
And I think last thing I'll say is I think Jason Wygant and those guys brought up a good point where they said that, a lot of old ex-riders are kind of chiming in and saying that rubbing's racing, that these guys need to just not be so soft. But it is proven you don't win championships when you're trying to rub paint with other riders. Like, it will never work out in your benefit. And even if Jason's not trying to do what he's doing to Malcolm in those situations, he's still being aggressive, and that's just a consequence of it, and that's why Tomac stays clean. Look at Cooper Webb. Passes Justin Barsha, goes incredibly wide in the berm turn after because he understands, like, what I just did, I got to get out of here. So, yeah.
And and that's just to add one more thing to that. I think you look at Cooper Webb pre-Alden Baker days, and this is going back a ways, but he was the chirpy, you
remember him in Bowers?
Talking. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So then you fast forward and you get him into that situation and around a lot of people, champions and trainers, and he immediately changed, right? He had that one incident at the Triple Crown or wherever it was where he looked back and finger pointed at Ken, and I heard he got reamed that night.
Oh, really?
But when he went to that factory or to that training facility, things changed. He no longer became that person. He's a very cordial, doesn't like to get into altercations or make enemies, because he knows late in the series when people have nothing to lose, you want to have as many people on your side as possible. Right. If you piss off half the field and it's you and so-and-so going for the title and so-and-so has one enemy and you have 8, I mean, you're not going to be in the best spot, So there is a little bit of strategy involved. And I just think Eli's being smart right now.
It's definitely helping him. It helped Webb. I remember when Dungy and J-Law used to get into it.
Only time
he let it go, and look what happened to Dungy.
The only time I've ever seen Tomac try to take someone out, ironically, was Cooper Webb. It was at Daytona a few years ago. Webb was still on Yamaha. He said Webb was cross-jumping him, so Tomac took him out. It was in a heat race, though. But that was it.
Yeah.
Other than and Webb admitted to it. So, well, Joey, look, we know you're a busy man, and we know you got a lot of stuff going on right now trying to recover that knee and get ready for the outdoor season. So we will not take up any more of your time, but want to say thank you so much for giving us your time to call in today.
I can't wait to see him back out there. Everyone gives Bogle all the credit for style and fashion. This dude's got the hottest shoes in the game every time I see him.
Well, he's wearing Yeezys on the track walk, which I don't think is too wise sometimes.
That's a statement, dude. That's a statement move. That's a boss move.
Not anymore. I did at one point, but you're right. That wasn't smart. I'm honestly, I appreciate you guys having me on and getting to interact, and just honestly, as bad as it sounds, just stay relevant. It's very easy to be forgotten about when you're not racing, and
Joe, if you hear us, we're losing you a little bit.
Long career, 2013 Super, never missed.
You got us?
I think I'm back.
There you go. You are
back. Okay. So anyways, what I was saying was just basically like it's nice to get my name back out there and be relevant. I went pro in 2013. I think I missed my 2014 Supercross season. But from that point until I broke my heel, I probably could count on one hand how many races I missed. I stayed healthy for so long and just was there. Obviously it helps when you're winning races or doing well, but even when I wasn't doing the greatest, I was still around, and getting hurt with my heel, then you miss Supercross series and it feels like forever. Finally kind of get things going. Didn't have the greatest year last year, but felt like it was a good building block year, just kind of getting the confidence back and just the comfortability, and then to have it kind of take me again. I'm not used to being at home, and it's
Well, I've seen you posting a lot how much you missed your dirt bike, so we know you do.
Yeah, and Joey, there's also a ton of people in the live chat that are saying they miss you out there.
Sure.
And so people are thinking of you, and they want you back on the bike.
Well, I appreciate it.
Okay, Joey, we did have a couple people.
Sucks, but I appreciate
you're good. One last thing. We'll wrap this thing up in 30 seconds. Give us your podium this weekend. We had a couple people asking. We say, hey, what would Joey's picks be for the podium this weekend if he's playing fantasy?
Oh, boy. I'm assuming we're talking 450 class, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Detroit. I'm trying to remember. It can be pretty ready. I think Eli's going to be on the this is no direct order. These are just my three. I think it's going to be Eli, Cooper, and honestly, I could see Sexton being on the box.
Okay, I like it. See,
it's not who you put in there; it's who you leave out. That's the hardest part.
You put Sexton in, you left Anderson, out Barsha.
Well, that's the hard part.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the hard part.
You left out Anderson, Barsha, Mookie. I mean, you leave out a whole slew of people, but it's just I look at Sexton, good starter. I look at Eli, figured it starts out, and he's going to move forward. And you look at Cooper, and I think he's slowly starting to come back to his good starting ways. And like I said, he's a racer, and he figures it out. So.
All right.
I agree.
All right, Joey. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you. Get healthy soon, and we will see you back for outdoors tearing it up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
Yep. See ya.
Man, I do miss Joey out there.
I know. He needs to be out there. He's mixing it up. Oh, my gosh. You know what I got to mix up is get my jacket off. Our AC stopped working in here. Yeah, it's getting a little warm in here.
It was frosty in here.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Let's get up the stats here because we got DrJayBee calling in soon. Joey's a good guy, man. He needs to be out there racing. All right,
Joey.
Let's get right into it with the stats here. Christian, start us off. What do we got?
Did we do hit track trends?
Yeah, a little bit. Let's get it. We got to see the track here. So a little bit longer start straight. You got, I like it, 2 long rhythm lanes with 180 bowl turns, getting those things going.
I saw it on Instagram, a video of the actual track, and that start looks way longer than that.
Like this one that we're looking at now looks longer?
Like in person, that looks like a long start straight. So
okay. Interesting.
I would count that into your
pretty
picks.
good size whoop section, and I went back and watched a couple of the old Detroit races. Definitely not jumping whoops. They are blitzers all night long.
Yep.
Okay.
And you got this little elevated turn going on over here, some good 180s.
I like it. Okay.
Looks like a cool track.
All right.
Some different options there.
All right. Look, I just saying it. What I was watching those races, it looked very hard pack. A couple of ruts, but kind of like an Anaheim. So I think I see Jason Anderson doing pretty well here. He has won by default, but he did win. Yeah. All right, injuries. AC is still out. Joey Savatgy, we just talked to. He's gone. Josh Hill, Max Anstie, haven't heard anything on him if he's going to be racing or not. Of course, Adam Ektiknap, and of course Ken Roczen, who just announced he is out.
Yeah, that sucks.
All right. Well, look, best starters in the game. What are we going to leave for DrJayBee? Did you want to cover these?
We can cover these. We can bring up whatever he wants to bring up, too.
All right, Josh, let's throw it up here. Best starters in the game. Look at this. Kind of crazy.
What stands out is how close everyone is.
I know. The top 5 are less than 2. You don't, until you get to Malcolm Stewart, everyone is separated by McElrath. 2 spots. Yeah, I'm just saying from like 1st to 6th, it's less than 2 positions are separating the top 6 guys. That's pretty bunched up.
Yeah, that's really close.
I mean, Tomac is barely behind Sexton, so it's pretty interesting.
So nobody has a real clear advantage here anymore.
Although I will say, I say it's a technical thing because of last week's start, when you look at the start, they go off of your position after lap 1. Malcolm and Jason both were top 3 off of that start until they went down.
Everybody's somewhere until something happens.
Well, I know. I'm just saying they still ripped off good starts last week. Okay. Look at this. Best finishers, though. This is where Yeah. Look at that.
I mean, Tomac, you give him a 3rd-place start, he's turning into 2.5 average finish.
I'm just saying,
crazy.
Tomac took a page out of Dungey and Webb's era and said, hey, podiums.
You average a finish at 2.5, you're going to win a championship.
You're going to win a title because Jason Anderson's at 4.14, and he probably should be the points leader, but probably shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? You just said that?
Things happen. I'm saying what's kind of crazy, too, is Webb and Stewart and Sexton and Barsha are, they're right there on that finish.
I know. And what's crazy is Webb and Stewart. How does Webb have the same average finish as Malcolm?
It's because he's just been turning it on lately.
I know, but it's just so crazy that he went from like 8th place.
Yeah, you wouldn't, until you see it here, you wouldn't have thought that.
No, and it's the same thing as with the points lead, how Webb is only 15 behind Anderson.
Yeah.
That was surprising to me. I never would have thought Webb was that close to being second in the points right now.
Wilson's up there. Freezy's doing good. McElrath, not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Chisholm, we lost.
Freezy's 10th, but he's only raced a few of the races.
Yeah, but still pretty good.
All right.
Still pretty good.
Well, look, let's dive into it. Top contenders. With the momentum that this man has, I don't know how you don't put him.
Any reason to not pick him to win?
Is there?
I don't see any.
I don't know.
Unless you say that he's happy with a second or third right now with that lead.
If Jason Anderson is behind Eli Tomac, and say Eli Tomac's in a podium, I don't see him pushing very hard to try and get the win as long as the 21 is behind him.
Yeah.
Webb can beat Tomac every race. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about, I'm not every race. Because theoretically, like if Webb won, long shot.
What gives me everything on Tomac is when he leads laps, he wins.
Yeah.
Or
if he starts like in the top 3, he's probably going to win.
Yeah, there's other riders that have led laps in multiple rounds and they didn't win them. So I'm saying he gets up there, there's nobody that's going to pass him. So I'm solid with Tomac in the top spot.
Yeah, he leads the class this year with 6 podiums. He's won 4 out of the last 6 rounds. Mm-hmm. Gosh, dude. And him and Mookie are the only 2 riders who have 2 or less races outside the top 5.
Yeah.
And check this out. His last 3 finishes in Detroit, this is a big one. He's won it twice and got a 5th place.
I'm glad you threw that in there. I was interested on that. And he's won an overall qualifying as far back as 5th.
Okay.
Don't worry about qualifying with him. I'm putting him in the top spot no matter what.
Okay. Jason Anderson. What do we got on him?
Like we said, best average start per gate drop. Has a better start average but only 1 hole shot than Tomac.
Tomac has 3.
That's crazy.
When was the last time he hole shot at anything?
He only had 1 all year last year.
Yeah.
Tomac. So Tomac starts are good. Anderson's are still a little better, but look at the start by Coast. I know last round was kind of weird, but he's went from a 4.3 on the West to 7.2 on the East.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's still not consistent enough to win the title, having issues, went from 6 to 18 points back.
Yeah.
His worst finishes are 10th, 8th, and 9th. Tomac's worst is 6th.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's your difference of the whole season.
And if you look at his results in Detroit, he got 6th in 2017. 2016, he got first, but that was because Dungey, I think, jumped on a Red Cross flag. Jason was given the win by default.
Well, look, he's always in the front. Led laps in 5 of the 9 rounds and won 3 of those 5 rounds. But, dude, you got to stay up there.
This tells you all you need to know about his season. He has led 12 more laps than Eli Tomac.
And he's down.
And he's down 18 points in the championship.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
I still think he can bounce back. I'm probably going to pick him 2nd or 3rd this week.
Okay.
Like Joey, or like we were talking about earlier.
All right, well, let's dive into it here.
Dude, you got next. Mook?
Where's Malcolm Stewart's number plate? Did I leave that on the floor?
Did you drop it somewhere, bud?
I must have dropped it. Well, we got Malcolm Stewart.
I got Mookie stuff.
Okay, let's get
Currently 4th in points. He's 37 points back from 1st. Only 1 point ahead of Sexton and Barsha, which is still good.
1 point ahead of 5th.
It's still good to me, but it wasn't as good as it was a couple rounds ago.
There is a good meme that somebody had about we'll have to show it later, but it was Malcolm's. It was this meme about Stewart, dude, and it was perfect.
Well, he only has 2 races outside the top 5. 6th best average start, 6.31. But, yeah, of course, the starts after lap 1. Hasn't made the top 5 when qualifying better than 5th this season. And both times he's qualified better than 5th, he didn't make the top 5, which is weird. So when he's qualified first 2 times, he didn't make the top 5 in either round.
Interesting.
Last round, his 17th place start was the worst he's had since round 4 of last season. Average finish in rounds he qualified first at is 7.5, like I just said. And he's won his last 2 heats, been qualifying well. Last week was weird. I think he's going to get a good start this round.
Well, you know who we should ask? Is DrJayBee.
The man with the stats.
The man, the myth, the legend, the stat man, we call him.
Right.
He is on a Zoom call with us right now.
I can't remember how we got in touch with you at first. Was it through the Discord or the chat? How did we get working with you?
It was a bit about both.
Okay.
Like I've been on ever since you guys started doing live streams. I'm pretty much always there. And then I was chatting up with Shane on Discord a lot once you guys went there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, JayBee, tell us your real name, the John Bork, because I just thought your name was Jay. And then so when I got his email, I was like, John? Like, who is John?
My full name is John Bork. I grew up in upstate New York racing with Justin Barsha.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, wow.
And we were both number 51 from neighboring districts. So that's where I got the JB nickname, but did it a little bit different than just the initials.
Okay. So you've been a motocross guy your whole life. That's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah. So started racing when I was 8, went through all the minis, and once I got to about 16 is when I made the decision to not do this anymore.
Okay. You had options. You're like a genius. You saw our lap charts and just build them off looking at it. So
I mean, they're fun to make, at least for me, I guess.
Yeah. So what do you do? What's your profession? Christian was talking about something with NASA or rockets. I don't even know.
A little bit. Yeah. So I just actually finished up my schooling. I've been in school for pretty much the past 8 years straight. Just finished my PhD in mechanical engineering. And in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start working for Mr. Bezos at his space company, Blue Origin.
Fantasy is rocket science.
I feel uneducated talking to this man.
I know,
right
that's
now.
why I listen to him, dude. He's a real SX.
I'm better at my engineering than picking fantasy right now. So.
Well, a lot of us can say we're better at our jobs than fantasy, but that's So Blue Origin working for Bezos, like that's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
Yep.
Remember us when you're cruising out there in space.
I want to get the first dirt bike in space.
That'd be sweet.
Getting his PhD, and he still has time to make up the stats.
So you build up a lot of interesting stats, our lap charts for us now. What started all of that? Like, what do you look for to help make your picks and all that?
Well, so it actually started like when you guys started the first year of fantasy. There was just no good database for fantasy stats or just Supercross stats. I mean, they have the results pages for each race, but you have to go to each one. So I just started making it for honestly for Scooty Puff Junior's fantasy stuff.
Scooty, dude, I love. Scooty.
I started work. Yeah, so like I found him through YouTube. We became friends, and I started helping him out, and then it kind of just translated into this. We all work together, play the same game.
That's awesome.
I basically at first it was like I need starts and positions, like those are the most important.
Yeah.
To just have a nice database where you can see them all on one screen, and then I started trying to figure out what other things you can get interested in, the net passes, qualifying. There's a little bit of caveats, like you guys mentioned with the average starts, taking position after lap 1. And you mentioned that like Anderson's average start on the East is not that good, but if you take out his Daytona, it's less than a 3.
See?
I'm just saying things happen with him a lot.
So the stats get a little bit funny when you play with those random outliers, but yeah, I enjoy numbers, I guess.
Hey,
I'm with him. That's why this is my guy.
Speaking of, I have a request.
Okay.
If you got time for it, Mr. Rocket Scientist, okay? I would like to know, I was just thinking about this the other day, I was like, I want to go back through, look at all the lap charts. I want to figure out what the average lap position is for each rider, like halfway through the main events. Because we talked about that when we did the Triple Crown, like, hey, what position is each guy in by lap 12? So you kind of figure out, like, where's he going to be? I'd be curious to know, like, what these guys' average position is after, say, lap 5.
Yeah,
or something
after
like
5,
that.
10, 15,
something
all
like
over
that.
the place.
That'd actually be extremely easy because I have all of the past lap charts already kind of set up to just print.
Dude, we're gonna hit you up for that.
And I don't start my job for another 2 weeks, so you got me. Yeah, I could do something like that.
I just like Deuce 119 here. This dude is Albert flipping Einstein. We feel dumb now. Oh, good stuff.
Oh, man. Well, hey,
Sorry, you're still probably beating me in fantasy, so that makes you feel better.
Probably
no,
not.
man. Well, look.
So, John, actually, I got a question. So we did a poll earlier. You might have seen it in the chat where we just did, are you picking off your gut this year or mostly stats? What's your answer on that? Because most people were picking with their gut.
Yeah, do you have a mix?
Well, I try to. This is actually how I do my picks. So I wake up on Sunday, and then I look at the next setup for the next week, and I kind of just fill in how I'm feeling from the momentum of the past race. And then I sit down with you guys on Thursday to do all this. And then it's like, all right, now let's start trying to see if I could tweak it with some stats. And then I kind of just throw everything out the window on Saturday.
That's what I do too, honestly.
I've been trying my best to not change them, but sometimes it's so tempting. And
The thing is,
thriving.
Yep.
it's like this law. If things just kind of work themselves out. For example, statistically, you were a fool to not put Tomac in first at Daytona.
Yeah.
And then you see this start, and he's like, dude, he's top 4 or 5, but he's got Anderson, Mookie, Sexton, Webb all front. And what happens? Anderson and Webb take each other out. Tomac goes on and wins the race, and statistically, that was the right pick anyway. So,
Well, the stats are just guiding us. They're
but
not
Tomac didn't look
guaranteed.
good in qualifying. That's what I'm saying. He didn't, and he even admitted he didn't look good in qualifying.
But he was still in Daytona. Was
I
enough
know,
for
but
me.
that's why I said statistically he is the correct pick. I'm not going to change him.
You never feel good about him last minute. Last minute, everybody always wants to change their picks.
No, it's a gut punch.
It's
As soon as the night show starts, I literally just like freak. It's like
it's self-control.
the feeling of helplessness is when the night show starts.
Yeah, I ended up closing the app like an hour before because it's just like it's bad.
You gotta walk away.
I will say though, if Anderson and Mookie didn't go down in the stand, I don't think Tomac would have won.
Yeah, with how good Mookie was riding, I think you're right. Because he didn't catch Webb till the last lap and a half, and he was behind him for a while.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. Because I agree. That's all I'm gonna say.
And he did get lucky with Webb. I mean, everyone asks like if the lapper incident didn't happen, if he would have caught, and I think he would have got right to his rear wheel, but his passing spot was at switch lane, and they were both taking the same line.
Yeah.
So if he would have to take the one he hadn't been taking all race, and the chances of that going well on your first try are none.
Yep.
So he did get lucky this past week.
Okay.
But that's part of the package. To win a championship is luck.
Hey, but you got to be there when luck gives you a little gift, and you got to take it. So, yeah,
So
it's unfortunate.
what's your podium? What are your picks looking like as of now?
Yes, give us
Everyone wants
that.
to know from the rocket scientist's mouth.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Webb winning.
Okay.
He's whole shot at the past 2 standard rounds, and he's looked good at Arlington. I think he's hungry for the win. He's really good at ignoring the negatives of the past week. I think he's at a spot where he's going to win, mainly because he's going to get the start.
Okay.
And then I got Anderson in second with Tomac behind him. Anderson's starts are unreal. He has the best jump out of the gate that I've seen. If you go back and watch all the races, he's literally like a wheel.
Except for Tomac at the main one of Phoenix.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think if you look at the starts from his side of the gate, he probably was the best.
Yeah.
I agree. No, his starts have been on fire this year.
But he has a better chance of starting in front of Tomac, and I still have yet to see Tomac straight up pass him successfully.
Okay. I like how I said successfully because he tried it twice.
Multiple times.
in
he just
Arlington,
gets it
right?
back.
Yep.
And even at Anaheim, Anaheim
That's
3.
true.
So the one time he did pass him, Anderson made a mistake. So, and then I got Sexton in 4th with Mookie in 5th. It's pretty much top 5 in points, just swapped her a little bit.
Okay.
And then you guys really made it difficult for the wild card this week.
Yeah, I was going to
For
ask.
15th.
I
Your
know,
top 2
'cause
riders for that
Because
spot.
Chisholm's gone.
Roczen's gone.
Right, yeah, so it's going to be
Yeah,
a tough wild card.
I literally had to like list like the from 14th up to like 25th in points just to kind of see who we're working with. I'm looking at either Marchbanks or Martin.
I don't know if Marchbanks is racing.
I
just
didn't see him on the
FYI.
entry list.
Look in qualifying.
Yeah. We'll have to double
Yeah.
check.
I did have the entry list up. I don't know. But yeah, so if it's not Marchbanks, then it's probably going to be Martin or like J Star.
Okay.
Okay. See,
They're on like the 17th position. And
Yeah.
now that since like Chiz is out and Roxon's not racing, you kind of got to like look at like for 15th place, look like 16, 17.
okay.
I like it.
I think wild card is like the best for stats.
It is.
Top 5 is no, but
But
the
this
wild
week,
card, you can
this
throw
week's
behind
been kind of tough because, like, just when you think Justin Bogle might be a good pick, he gets an 11th at Daytona, which makes you second guess what he's going to do from here on out.
I think Bogle's speed is like 10 to like 12,
That's
but he just screws up every
well.
time.
He also had like one of his best friends of all time pass away earlier in the year. I don't know if a lot of people know that, and so mentally, I just don't think he was in it, and just really didn't care all that much. Because, like I said, it was one of his closest friends, and he passed away, so that hit
affect
him
you.
pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, the past few weeks he's been looking really good. And
Yeah.
he's throwing knacks, Superman or
Yeah.
Lazy Boys.
Yeah, did you
practice.
see his lazy boy? That's pretty good.
So I think he's in a better spot now, if that's like if it's true what you were saying. So I think he's still a little bit better than 15th right
Okay.
now.
I agree.
But he can also throw it away and get last place again.
It's true.
He's a wild
And
card
then-
of himself.
Yeah, it's hard because like you got a lot of like LCQ notables potentially here.
Right.
It's like it's hard to figure out.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes get a little extra motivation knowing spots just opened up in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a more less likely guy.
Chiz can't just chiz on everybody in the LCQ anymore. So
I'm mad at him. He had to pick this week. He's almost a lock for 15th.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and you got A-Ray coming back this week.
Oh,
What
geez.
we've been hearing. So, and now he knows Chiz is in the game, so he's happy.
Yeah.
But,
I think Heart
But yeah.
Refs. I don't know. Heart Refs like better than 15th now. I think. I don't know.
that's who I had on Sunday, and then Kenny made the announcement.
Okay. Moved everyone up.
Yeah, moved everyone up. So
All right.
it's like, come on, man.
I like it.
All right. Well, hey, DrJayBee. I'm not going to call you John. You're DrJayBee. That's
Always.
that's how we
fine.
know you. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Like I said, we want to get you on the show because a lot of people don't realize
Oh, yeah.
the amount of work and effort that it goes through to do the lap charts. You've done it for us week after week, and we just want to say we really appreciate that. We know you're taking your own
problem.
time out of your own day to do that, even while getting your PhD to work for Blue Origins.
Well, what blows my
So,
mind is
yeah,
when I
it's pretty
created
gnarly.
this, it was like for a little bunch of group of dudes at Rocky Mountain because we were just arguing all the time.
Yeah.
And now to see like people out there that just get way into it, no, I think it's awesome, dude.
Yep.
I never would ever thought this stuff would even happen, so it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's exploded, and I've heard like how much work you guys put behind the scenes, and how you're pretty much taking time out of your day to do it as well. So it'd be cool to see a 250 fantasy, but I know
You're
that's a lot
telling
of work.
us. You're telling us. But
We'll put the word in.
yeah, we'll put the word in, but we're going to have to get 2 more SXperts to try and make that all happen because it's a
Correct.
lot.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Well, hey,
It's
man,
worth it.
we appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything you do. Congratulations on your PhD and your new endeavor that you got going on. And
Keep in
I
touch.
hope the people watching live are appreciative of what you do to make the show that much better. So thank you so much, man, and
Appreciate it.
good luck on your picks this weekend.
Yeah, and we'll keep
All
rolling
right,
out
you
the
too.
stats through these next little bit, like a couple minutes. So if you have any other stats you want to add, just throw them in the live chat.
There you go.
Will do.
All right.
All right.
Hey, we appreciate it. Have a
Thanks,
good
dude.
one.
Yep. Talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.
See, the nation is just growing, dude.
The
Getting
nation was
stronger and
loving this
stronger.
guy. Dude,
He's a celebrity in the fantasy
PhD in
game.
mechanical engineering, going to work for Blue Origins. Like, are you serious?
I know. We need to get that fantasy sticker on the next SpaceX
Like,
rocket.
I felt instantly my IQ dropped 3 points as soon as he started talking about that. Okay, where were we on top contenders? We're on Webb.
We're on Webb.
We got to hustle
go
through
to
these
Webb.
here.
Webb, definitely a top 5 dude.
Who woke up to watch this show?
Jason.
Jason.
Another celebrity in the game. But 5th best average start of 6.0s. Now tied with Mookie for the 3rd best average finish. We covered that. Since Anaheim 3, he's gone 2-1-4-4-3-2.
Those are the triple crowns included.
Including the Triple Crown mains. He's on fire. Average finish by coast. The West, 6.1. East, 2.3. Average start, 7.1 on the West, 3.2 on the East. So he's turned it up.
Yeah.
The last 3 rounds. Has led laps in all 3 East Coast rounds so far, but didn't win the overall in any of those, which is kind of crazy.
Jeez.
Can qualify as far back as 12th, still win or make the top 5. He also has 2 hole shots in the last 2 out of 3 standard rounds, like DrJayBee said. 13 podiums last year. He's barely off the box lately. And finishes in Detroit 2-13. So I'm
Okay.
putting him on my podium.
But here's the real question. DrJayBee wants to put him in first to win.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Anderson's got the best starting average. He's ripping starts. Webb has hole shotted.
Yeah.
I just don't know if a Cooper Webb and Jason Anderson, if they go head to head, I feel like Jason Anderson's going to beat him in just raw speed.
It's going to take, like they said, racecraft from Webb
Racecraft.
to hold him back. And
That's why the
outwit
only
him.
reason I wouldn't put Webb in first is simply because I think JA beats him.
I think
straight
Tomac
up,
and Anderson have
and,
a better
and you're
chance
not too
of
worried
winning.
about Anderson getting a really good start.
Yep.
So that's my take on it.
Here's your spoilers, as tough as ever this week.
Barsha's
Barsha,
been like the quiet. He's been in there.
it doesn't seem like he's doing as good as he is, but he really is. He's doing great.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
I mean, you can't be mad at the guy.
But look, he has 5 top 5s,
Mm-hmm.
so half the rounds. He's only qualified 9th or better one time, though, and I feel like that affects his gate pick for the heat
Yep.
race. That transitions into the main event.
Well, and his average start, 8.3.
Yeah.
So, did
And
get a better qualifying.
they said they'd worked on that. I don't know.
If you're picking him, it's hard because he doesn't get good qualifying, and he's kind of been quiet in the podium game and 4th and 5th range.
I'd say he's a solid 5th place pick, but you can't forget that he does have 3 third place finishes this year.
He could rip a podium at any time.
All right.
So, this one's for Aquatic out there. Muscan.
I'm not high on Marv. He kind of burned me at Daytona.
I'm not either anymore. His last 5 overall finishes, 6-14, 3-5-7. They're not bad.
They're not.
For fantasy top 5 picks, they're not.
Yeah, but
they're not gonna do it
his
for me.
6th last week is because he was gifted 2 spots with Anderson and Mookie.
That's what got me on that one, yeah.
So
even with those 2 gifts, he still took 6th.
Yeah. And so his last 5 starts in standard rounds, he's gone 7-6-3. Did have a hole shot.
Yeah.
All right.
And his average starts and finishes have gotten about 1 spot worse on the East than he was on the West.
Yeah. I mean, Marv would have to be like qualifying 1st or 2nd, and then if you get,
I'd say at max 5th place.
If you get emotional like Aquatic, you might want to put him in there.
I mean, his qualifying, his heat races, they've all gone down on the East.
All right.
He's led 2 laps this round, or 2 laps. Oh my gosh, he's led laps in 2 rounds this season. There it is.
I always forget that he has those, and then he just drops it on you.
I was waiting for it. Finished 10th and 14th in the rounds that he's led laps, which is crazy.
Long whoops. Coop cannot podium, says Charlie. Hey, he was doing pretty good at Daytona. He held off Tomac that long in those whoops, and they were.
And then one more good thing about Marvin. He has finished in the top 5 in 2 of the last 4 rounds. Even though he doesn't look that good, whatever happens, he still can pull it off. Who do we got next? Sexton?
Yeah, we got Sexton. His last 5 overall finishes. So 3rd last week, 4th before that, and then he had a 16th, a 7th, and a 3rd. He's led laps in 4 rounds, but only won 1 of those rounds. I can't believe he still only won San Diego.
Yeah.
I thought after San Diego we were going to start seeing this guy win in multiple races. Still could happen. His starting average is still really good. Mm-hmm. He's finished in the top 5 6 out of the 9 rounds. So he's got to be in your top 5 pending something bad happens, right?
Yeah, I agree now.
Is that okay?
If he doesn't crash big, and if he doesn't, he usually finishes 1 to 2 spots from where he qualifies. So
yeah.
Has 4 hole shots on the season, average start of 5 per main event gate drop. He's a lock for
4
me.
4 hole shots. 5. Okay.
Maybe only way I'll consider not picking him is if he qualifies worse than 8th. When he qualified worse than 8th, he didn't make the top 5.
Okay.
So
Ferrandis finally did what we were hoping he would do.
I put him in the Marvin category too, though.
Josh, did you do who's your top pick this week? We did that. Let's see who's the biggest spoiler this week. I would say between Ferrandis, Barsha, Malcolm.
Oh, Malcolm for me.
You think Malcolm's a solid top 5?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of his starts.
Yeah, I'll do Ferrandis. Oh, man, I don't know.
I'd go between Sexton and Stewart.
I'd say Ferrandis and Barsha and Muscan are like the 3 big question marks. The rest of those guys, it's like you're probably going to be in the top 5.
They have a
right?
better than 50% chance.
Yeah, but those 3, like Ferrandis, Marv, or Barsha, you're just like
they're a little bit longer.
May or may not happen.
Even though I'd pick Barsha then.
Well, look, the only thing you need to know about Ferrandis is
Barsha.
Okay, Ferrandis. He's cracked the top 5 just 1 time in the last 5 rounds. He's only started better than 10th in 2 of the 7 standard rounds, and his average start is atrocious.
But he got his best start of the season last round of 5th.
Okay, but his average start for the year is still like 10th. He's worse than Barsha.
Yeah, but last round he started 5th, whether you like it or not.
Hey, 1 round is not consistency. That's called a fluke.
Maybe.
You get 3.
Or a building block.
Remember when Tomac got those good starts in Phoenix? We're like, it's still not confirmed.
Maybe it's wishful thinking. I want him to keep getting 5th.
Well, he needs to keep getting those 5th.
We'll see what he does. I'm not going to say he can't do it again.
Okay.
But average finishing of 2.5 in East Coast heats, so that could be helping his starts.
It's still not good
better
enough for me.
gate picks. Average finish.
Right, Ajax?
Well, yeah. His average finish on the West in heats was 7.4. You ain't going to get a good start with that.
Okay.
Only made the top 5 because Anderson Stewart drama. I believe that.
Well, you know why? You know who needs? Who is this here? Oh, who said it? Ferrandis will not screw it up for Eli. Tomac needs Ferrandis to start getting top 5 starts.
Yeah, get him up there.
Get in between some
throw
dudes
a block
for me.
or 2, yeah.
Just running solo. Well, so is Anderson, I guess.
Yep. Has 3 top 5 overall finishes this season, 1 podium, and has only made the top 5 when qualifying between 2nd and 6th.
Well, I just can't trust those starts.
If he's anywhere past 6, you shouldn't be considering him, in my opinion.
Wild card watch. Let's just give him the best opportunities here. Look, it's 15th place this weekend, which is going to be tough.
It's a little different, like we was talking about, because Chisholm's going to 250s. Roczen's out. You think a more established rider, and I can see it, but I really hope one of those dudes that's been way back there.
I know, like a Ryan Brees or a Justin Starling or a Cade Clayson. No, is he racing 250s? I'm just saying.
I hope one of those dudes.
A lot of the riders, I know, but it's going to be tough on fantasy, but that's all right. But there's going to be some guys like a Ryan Brees and those that are kind of like struggling to get into some of the mains.
Maybe it's our Breesiac in the chat that's always there. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling about Brees this week.
Okay.
And you don't know. It's such a crapshoot. So I pulled up couple things to help.
Okay.
Over the last 5 rounds, the average qualifying position for the rider who took 15th overall is 15.6.
Okay. So you're saying, look who qualifies 15th.
I'm going to have these guys, Brayton, Hartraft, Brees, Amart, Bogle, Starling, Freezy. I'm going to have them in my mind. But whoever's qualifying 15th, 16th, I'm going to see who I feel better about there.
Okay. Well, look, I would say a good solid pick would be like a Brandon Hartraft. Now with Roczen out and Chisholm, he might be moving up a spot, but his last 5 overall finishes, he's gone 17, 12, 13, 15, 15.
Let's go Brandon more than ever right now.
Let's go Brandon
more than ever right now. He's looking good. Average finish per main event gate drop, 14.5.
That's what I'm talking about.
Average start, 14.5.
But does that get a little bit better with Chiz and Kenny out?
He's only been to 1 LCQ. You know the guy's going to be in the main. Some of these other guys a little riskier.
Like Alex Martin was another rider that I was kind of high up on. Just because, again, with riders out, he can move up. His average finish is 17.17, not the greatest.
Right in the range. Kind of been banged up.
But he finished 14th in Minneapolis and 16th in Arlington. His average finish is 16.27. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Amart would, between him and Hartraft, but I would say Hartraft is going to be Amart in most situations because he has.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like Amart would be a better
good
pick.
Battle, but if I had to put money on it, probably, yeah.
We had Bogle. We were talking about him, but again, he just got 11th. I feel like his mind space is better. He's got the speed for, like DrJayBee said, that 10th to 12th, 13th place. Yeah. So I would say he's better than 15th, but you know what?
Well, and he usually beats Chisholm, so that's not going to affect him too much, but Roczen usually beats him, so that's even going to help him a little bit more.
True.
Well, plus Freezy, just a threat. If there's those dudes out there to pick Freezy no matter what.
Freezy's just going to...
I'm just going to say I don't think he's good this week, but you know they're going to pick him.
Okay.
Wild card, I'm going...
Are you?
I'm going to go Brees. I'm going for more of a long shot.
Are you going to lock that in, not change it?
If he's qualifying 15th or 16th,
Ryan Brees?
I'll pick him.
Well, come on, dude. He's not going to qualify there.
You never know.
Have you looked at his average qualifying?
It's in the 20s, but I don't care. I like the long shots, dude.
Oh my gosh, look at his average finish per main is over 18.
So give him 2.
Oh, look, I'm not discrediting Ryan Brees. The guy is an amazing dirt bike rider.
Yeah.
And he crushes anyone. But he got his best finish last round of 18th. But he's missed 3 main events this season. So
somebody get the word to Brees. Let's do it.
I wish there was like a double point for the wild card so you could like be rewarded if you got it right, because I feel like that is a risk, my friend.
This is the hardest wild card of the season.
Supercross is crazy.
It is crazy.
No risk, no reward, says Jay Sand. Brayton on retirement mode. Yeah,
I think Brayton's going to be better
retirement
than 15th.
Mode equals 15th.
I put Wilson above 15.
Yeah. Oh, Wilson for sure.
I put McElrath above 15.
Yeah.
I'm not even considering those guys.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hey, if Ryan Brees gets the wild card, I will shave my beard off. I haven't done that in 6 years.
Do the half beard,
clean
dude.
shaven.
Remember
No,
that
half beard's out. That was lame. Get out of here with that.
That was classic.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys have a good idea. What does the poll say right now for the wild card? Look at that, Hartraft. He's got 40% of the votes right now. See, that's good.
If he's qualifying around there, I'm probably going to pick him.
Okay. With that being said, let's lock him in, Christian. Are you ready?
I'm throwing him in there right now.
Hey, don't forget, we got that meme contest going. We're going to be announcing a prize to give away to the meme winner coming up on Monday. And you, our friends, we're going to pick the top 4, and then you guys get to vote on them during the live show to see who's going to win it. So don't forget to get those memes submitted. Are you submitting your picks right now?
Well, I just put them in there.
Here's mine. This is what I had tentatively. Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, Malcolm Stewart, Jason Anderson, Chase Sexton. I actually had Alex Martin there for the wild card, which I'm probably going to stick with.
Okay.
But I'm probably going to switch up my podium. I don't know. I'm going to look at qualifying. Why are you creeping, dude?
Tomac's second? Okay.
Yeah. I just feel like if Coop's out front and Tomac's in second, with Tomac with the points gap he has, isn't going to be too stressed about Coop. But that bonus money sure is nice. What do you have right now?
I'm going with Anderson. DrJayBee kind of sold me on it. He really is getting good starts, and after last week, he's got to bounce back.
But he said Webb was going to win.
Yeah, but he also just said how Anderson's going to get a good start, which I believe, and that's why I put Webb second.
Easy, Ajax.
I think Webb's going to get a good start too.
Okay.
And I know Tomac has been doing it, but how long can he keep doing it is the question. So I'm putting Tomac third, Sexton fourth. I learned my lesson last round on him. Stewart, I think, back in 5th. My wild card, Brandon. Let's go Brandon Hartraft. And I'll keep him there unless he qualifies far away. So.
Okay.
Sorry, Aquatic. I picked Marv last round. That dude's been burning me.
Yeah, he burned me last round too because I think I had him in
Send
there.
me the confirmation on the foot injury before I pick him again.
Webb all day.
Like wanting us to ask everybody about Marv's foot injury.
Well, look, there you have it. All right, now let's talk about prizes real quick. We thank everyone for sticking around. Been a little bit longer today, but it's been good having Savatgy and DrJayBee on there. Grand prizes. Here we go.
He did tell me not to. Aquatic here. He told me not to pick him. I left him in.
Oh,
it hurt.
I told you not to. I can't. Aquatic is like an emotional wreck. Marv, he's on a Marv high, then he tells you not to pick him.
I'm like, dude, you were the last person I thought would tell me to take him out.
He's laughing at you right now. All right, that reverse psychology is what he's doing. All right,
worked.
Grand prizes. Here we go. First place, KTM 450 SXF Factory Edition. Second place, KTM 250 SX. Shout out to Dunlop giving away MX33 tires for a year. We're going to give fourth place $3,000 spending spree to Rocky Mountain. What are you laughing at? Fifth place, Alpine Stars gear and casual spending spree. Sixth, Motion Pro Tools Pride Pack. Seventh, Fly Racing Gear Package. 8th, Stay6 Stability Cycle and Accessories. 9th, Milestone Video Game Supercross 3 of the game, 4K HDR TV and a console, and of course, an Oakley spending spree.
Good stuff. And then this week, big prizes up for the top 100 scorers. The top scorer, if you win this top prize of this week, email us at support@rmfantasysx.com. We want to hear from you. We want you to call in next week and tell us how you did it. But first place is going to get a TLD SE4 composite helmet. Second place, a step ramp, 6-step loading ramp. Then Magura hydraulic clutch, Fox gear set, Bridgestone Battlecross tires, Fly Racing Formula CP Rush helmet, Rhino Power prize package, Tusk MX tire set, Works Connection kit, Cherubi spending spree, and $10 Rocky Mountain ATVMC gift cards.
Look at this. Rodrigo Salas Oliveras has Dylan Ferrandis for second, and I would like to know his reasoning behind that.
Yeah, with the starts, I would never put him over fifth right now.
Okay.
No way.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, subscribe if you haven't already. Join us every Monday and Thursday. Remember, the link to the Discord is down below. That is where you submit the memes if you want your chance to win a prize coming up this Monday. So get those submitted. And as always, thank you so much. Chris,
and I got to say, from the producer standpoint, thanks for chiming in with those guys. I know that the stream's been a little bit rough today, just like we just had black screens. We had the wrong slates. So that's a little bit because
heads are falling off.
Dude, it makes it memorable. We'll never forget this one.
So thanks for sticking around.
Yes, thank you. Especially, while it was down, it was still cool to be able to chat. So cool about YouTube Live.
That made the whole show to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Good chat.
Right. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. Hey, we will see you guys this coming Monday, so good luck on your picks this weekend, and have fun watching the races.